So today's topic is group discussions. So group discussion is a formal discussion conducted on a topic among a group of 10 to 12 participants. So group discussion may not be just group discussion may not be just about a topic among 10-15 people. It may be between 3 people, 4 people, 5 people and n number of people. So what is group discussion? Discussion is a communication to find a solution over a problem. So when a group of people talk together to find a solution to a problem, it becomes group discussion. The participants analyze the topic from their perspective angles and present their views and opinions. Now this is a procedure of the group discussion. How the group discussion is conducted and what is the fixed procedure to it. First, the participants are given a particular topic and they are told that there will be a group discussion on the following topic. The group is given a topic, they contemplate on it for a few minutes and then start discussion. So when a topic is provided to the people or the participants in the group discussion, some time is allotted to them. The time may be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes hours, sometimes even days. Because more the time given, more better will be the solution to the group discussion. So most of the times we will not extend our time more than 15 minutes because the group discussion is done among like-minded individuals. We can say that like-minded because they are all trying to find solutions to the similar type of singular problem and not multiple of them. They contemplate on it, that means they think over it and start the discussion. The discussion is usually for 10 to 15 minutes. Expert listen to the members and evaluate them. So there when the discussion start, it has to end in 10 to 15 minutes, not more than 15 minutes because new kind of problems or multiple solutions may occur and multiple solutions may bring multiple problems to it. So usually a group discussion has to end between 10 to 15 minutes. There are expert people who evaluate the solutions, that means there are people who look at the solutions and try to overthink over them. Next is the group discussions are usually held on topic of four kinds. So a group discussion may be on four kinds of topic. First is factual, that is real problems. Real problems that have facts and they are backed up by evidences. Such as example, plastic should be banned. Second is the social or political issue, for example, moral policing and etc. Issue that is both social as well as it is a political issue. Abstract ideas which help to develop a person's personality, something related to personality development or self development in that case. Next is case study, which is research oriented, where there is a lot of research, where the group discusses a case study and analyzes it or offers a solution. Now next is the group discussions are one of the effective interactive methods of classroom learning. So for many people the classroom may be their class, maybe they are, if they are studying in the school, their classroom will be their learning what is a background. For many people the college classroom, for many people the boardroom meeting, for teachers their staff room and many places. So it is the only method where there is an effective interaction. Effective interaction means where the teammates actually talk with each other to try and find a solution to a particular problem. They are used to select candidates for different courses or for jobs by employers. So group discussion is a method where a person can offer a high salary, or you can say promotion of a salary, or he can even find a proper a suitable employer, a suitable employee for a particular job post. They are used to gauge whether a candidate possesses certain qualities required for pursuing a particular course or a job that involves working in groups, giving opinions and solve problems together to achieve common goals. So the major use of group discussion is actually to find a suitable leader or a suitable team leader, when he that particular person should possess a particular set of qualities, which is working in groups, finding solutions within the given time frame, achieve the goals of the company. And example, the candidates are tested for their knowledge and the communication skill as well as their ability to work as a part of a group and lead them towards the conclusions and solutions. So the leaders of those particular teams may not be the people who listen to everybody, but also who are able to convince their higher authorities regarding the solutions, listening to the other candidates, listening to their solutions, analyzing them, rethinking them, reasoning over them, and provide a perfect solution for them. One should be able to use his understanding of a subject to give an opinion on it and support his idea with logical arguments. So that means if a provided opinion may not be in the favor of the solution, he may rethink over it, he may find a logical argument to it or a logical agreement to it, and he may provide the solution to the higher authorities. Since communication is a two-way process, it is important that besides speaking, one listens to the participants in the group discussion and responds to their ideas to take them forward. So since it is always the communication is a two-way process, one person has to listen and one person is speaking. When the other person is speaking, you have to listen to him. So that hence said communication is a two-way process. So in a group discussion, it is utterly necessary that you listen very carefully to the other people's opinions, analyze over that, reason over them, and present it forward. You can contribute to a group discussion in some of the following ways. Begin helping it starting, giving direction to it, making sure that everyone's views are heard and thought about so that the group moves towards some kind of agreement, and closing it with a summary or conclusion. So during a group discussion, it is not only a debate over a particular problem, but also you have to come to a conclusion and a solution. Now let us discuss about the language which should be used for group discussion. Now group discussion, as we already know, is a formal type of discussion. So there are some things that we have to follow. During a group discussion, many of the people do not know the rules by which they have to play. Here are some expressions you can use to perform different functions during a group discussion. Now during a group discussion, things can happen that you may agree to a person, you may disagree to a person, you may have a different opinion, you may not neither agree neither disagree. So during such situations, there are some formal way of expressing your ideas or your opinions. The first is, while expressing your opinions, if you have something to say, what do we do? The expression is, I believe, could I make a point, please? It seems to me, I think, in my opinion, in my eyes, as far as I am concerned, and you can tell about your opinion. Next is expressing agreement. Agreement means when a particular person, your teammate, your team member, okay, he expresses about his opinion. If you agree to him, means if you think that that particular person which has whichever point or whichever statement he has given, you agree with him, you say absolutely right or absolutely whatever, I fully agree with the name of the person, you are right, or you can say I have come to the same conclusion, I hold the same opinion. Now next is expressing disagreement. Now this is what most of the time happens during a group discussion, that a particular person states a particular point and you don't agree with him. So most of the times many of us have this habit of cutting the point down or not letting the person speak. So this is actually an informal way of expressing your disagreement. If you think that there is something that the person's opinion has missing, you could say this, that I am afraid I don't agree with whatever the person said. I can see your point, but I respect your point of view. But I am sorry, I can't go along with you on whatever he said. I am sorry, but I see a little differently. You may have something there, but I am afraid, and you can conclude, you may be right, but. So this is an formal way of expressing your disagreement if you do not agree with the person's opinion. The next is suggesting. If you want to suggest something to the person's opinion, you can say that I think we should, or let's, don't you think we could, why don't we, couldn't we, or I recommend, or maybe we should. Now asking for opinion. Say that there are about 6 people in your team and 4 of them have given their opinions, and the remaining 2 are waiting for their turn, and you are the person who's conducting or who's the leader. It is your utmost duty that being a leader, you take everybody's opinion into account. So what shall you do? You ask for opinions. You can take the name of the person and you can say, what is your opinion on this thing? I wonder what you think about. What do you feel about? I'd like to know your stand on. That means I'd like to know about your opinion. So next is interrupting. This is the thing that happens during the group discussion. An informal method of interrupting is by directly, you may yell or you may shout, you may pinpoint the person. But the correct method is what? If you want to state your opinion between somebody's opinion, how do you do it? You say that I am sorry to interrupt, but excuse me, could I add something please? That's true, sorry, but. Or you could say, pardon me, could I say something? Let me jump in. Can I mention something? Now, handling interruptions. Interruptions are those things that happen when one or two people have the same opinions and they are trying to state it during it. It may also appear when a person is trying to give his opinion, but the other person in front of me is not able to handle it. So, just a moment, please. If you would just let me finish, could I finish what I am saying? Could you wait for a minute, please? So, handling interruptions means that you should be able to at least complete about your opinion. If your teammate is taking it too long, you could handle it by interrupting and saying that, would you just finish the topic, please? Or would you finish your opinion as others are waiting too? So, the formal way is this. Many of the people have the habit of making sounds like or many of them cough even. So this is informal and it is really very wrong when you do such sounds. So the better way is by taking help of these sentences or statements. Let us move to the next is the concluding. Concluding is something that you do when you come to a particular solution. There is the end of that particular meeting. You have found the solution. How do we conclude? We can conclude as to summarize or to conclude. We can conclude by saying, let's run quickly through the main ideas before concluding the discussion. Or you can do this. We could even say, finally, we have come to the conclusion to sum up the meeting after all. Now, while concluding, many of us just conclude the meeting. But there are some things which needed to be done or which need to be done while concluding the meeting. That is, formal way of concluding a meeting is by these 3 steps, which is thanking, appreciating and concluding. Thanking every person who gave his time for the group discussion. It may be your teammates, the evaluators or any other person who was present there for the group discussion. Next is the second step, which is appreciating. There are many people in the group discussion that may not be appreciated. For those people who gave their opinions very wisely, and because of their help, you could come to a conclusion. So, appreciating during a group discussion is equally important like thanking them. Next is mentioning their names. In appreciating, you can mention some specific names for those teammates or those people whose opinions played a key role in coming to a conclusion. Finally, is concluding the meeting. You can conclude the meeting by using these following statements and you can just conclude the meeting. Now, these are the 3 important steps of concluding the meeting, and without these 3 steps, the meeting won't end. Now, let us move to the example of a group discussion. A quick discussion on the sample given provided in the textbook. The evaluator is the person who is going to evaluate or who is going to monitor the entire group discussion. So I'll be the evaluator. You all have been given a few minutes to think on the topic for today's group discussion, which is, do you think teenagers should be given a separate mobile phone? You may now begin the discussion. Who would like to start? The first is, so the members are Manisha, Anamika and John. So Manisha might say that, I think the topic of this discussion is very relevant to all of us here. as teenagers, my mistake, we are so fond of our mobile phones, and it is different features that have become irresistible to us. I feel mobile phones are quite necessary. They are quite helpful for educational purpose. We can get support for their various subjects just at the click of a button. Anamika might say that I also agree with Suhasini, because nowadays people use smartphones and they can get access to any information they want, like travel information, recipe, course, colleges, and etc. John says that yes, I would like to add to it. I don't think students use the mobile phones only for speaking useful information. They also use it for entertainment too. They listen to songs, watch movies, etc. I am afraid they see unsuitable things too. Moreover, they spend long hours on the phone. Anamika says that yes, you are absolutely right, but I think parents have made them aware of the abuses of the mobiles, and they are mature enough to understand how to use the mobile phones productively. As we can see in the following group discussion, these three people, that is Manisha, Anamika, and John, are trying to contemplate, they are trying to think over the subject that do you think that teenagers should be given a separate mobile phone? They are following the every pattern mentioned in the above group discussion. That is, they are mentioning their entire topic. Like Manisha thinks that mobile phones are very useful to us and they have some irresistible features. Features like we know that using Facebook or social media, or accessing to the educational information on the click of the button. While it makes us quite unnecessary. Anamika also agrees with Manisha, and she said that yes, you are absolutely right. I agree with you that it accesses information to us like travel information, recipe, courses, colleges, and many things. John here says that he doesn't think that the mobile phones are only for seeking information. His experience with the mobile phone is that many a times many children spend their time trying to see unsuitable things, and that also for long hours. Anamika here jumps with John and she says that yes, she accepts or she agrees the particular reason that the parents should make their children aware of the abuses or the problems that can be caused by mobile phones. But similarly, she also states that the children, the people who are using the mobile phones, are mature enough to understand how the mobiles can be used only for the productivity or can be used only for gaining a particular goal or accessing information. So there is Ananya. Yes, all this is true, but don't you all agree that they do see unwanted things and waste their time in things not suitable for their age group? Where John says, I agree with Ananya, it is a sheer wastage of time, money, and energy. I feel, and Anamika is stating another point, she feels that the most of the students have forgotten the basic use of mobile phones. They have to travel long distances for tuitions and other purposes. The parents can keep a track for their children. This is the main reason why parents have given them mobiles. John believes yes, but students have become lazy. They lack concentration, they don't read books, the phone keeps ringing and disturbs them now and then. Manisha thinks that parents, institutions block some sites so that students are not able to view unwanted material. The risk is there, but the advantages are there are advantages with disadvantages too. The evaluators thinks that all right everyone, your time's nearly up. Could someone conclude please? So John has taken the chance of concluding the meeting. He says, taking the points into consideration, mobile is a good and useful tool, but a time period should be allotted to the students to use mobile so that students do not become couch potatoes that most of us have become. Eye problems, posture problems, psychological problems have increased. They sometimes become violent if mobile phones are taken away from them. They can use these phones, but they should be made to use them judiciously. So, in the second part of the this entire group discussion, we come to see That Ananya feels that yes, if there is information, or the people, the children who are using the phones, most of them use it to see unwanted things which are not suitable for their age group, because at a specific age group these children may be mature enough to understand those things. John is also agreeing with this, and he says it's a sheer waste of time, money, and energy. Anamika feels that the students have forgotten the basic rule of using the mobile phones. Now, every one of us travel from one place to another for education purpose, for a job process, and a number of things. The parents can keep a track of their children using the mobile phones, and this is the reason they have provided it to them. Especially when we talk about the corona pandemic, many of you must be coming from families where your parents have specially for this particular purpose, for you attending the various online lectures, have given you the mobile phones. But unfortunately some of you have become lazy. Now this is what John thinks, that the students have become lazy. They are lacking concentration. They are moving away from the real world to the virtual world. Their phone keeps ringing and disturbing them. So Manisha is with this particular opinion that the parents and institutions should block these sites which give access to students with unwanted material. The risk is there, but with advantages are disadvantages too. The evaluator thinks that the time is almost over and there must be somebody who could conclude the meeting. John, taking this entire opportunity, concludes the meeting by saying that taking the points into consideration, mobile phone is a useful tool, but the student needs to somehow manage the time period of usage of the mobile, because mobile phone, even if it gives access to information, it is a tool for education. Somewhere it is what do you say, creating a lot of eye problems, that are eye disorders, posture problems, psychological problems, and a number of them. Many a times it has been seen that the students, if they are taken away from the mobile phones, they may behave rudely, or many a times crimes are committed. So he thinks that the students should use the mobile very wisely. Now let us move on to the brainstorming of the particular chapter.